Hello friends, I am Anoj Kumar Jha and giving my idea about Visual Studio .NET 2008 version. The .NET is one of the most widely used software development environment in today's programming world. It is developed by Microsoft organization. The .NET is a technology. The .NET is a framework. The .NET is a architecture. The .NET is a platform. .NET not a language. It is a software development tool. Generally, we can say that .NET is a language, but .NET is not a language. It is a technology, framework, architecture, and platform. The .NET framework has provided programmers a single platform for developing application using different programming languages such as Visual Basic, Visual C Sharp, and Visual C++ .NET. The .NET framework is development and execution environments that allow developers to develop window application as well as web application and smart device application like mobile application. Why we use .NET for software development? Because it has some feature like architecture independent, language independent, easy to develop, object-oriented programming language. .NET provides security. Architecture independence means the .NET is a architecture independent development tools. It is independent from architecture of computer system. If we create a application in .NET, then we can use it on any Windows-based computer system containing .NET framework. .NET is also language independent. We know that .NET contain many languages like Visual C Sharp language, Visual Basic language. It has own compiler that convert our program in Microsoft Intermediate Language known as CLR. So we can say it provides multiple language support by using the features known as Common Type System, that is shortly known CTS. C Sharp is especially designed for the .NET platform. You can build .NET application in the numbers of other languages including C++ and Visual Basic. The .NET software is easy to development. It provides very easy and short containing code for software development with the help of toolbox and property setting. It follow the IntelliSense property which helps us to know what will be code. .NET is a object-oriented programming language. It follows the property of OOPS like data abstraction, that means hiding unnecessary data. Encapsulation, that means show necessary data. Polymorphism, that means same class and function perform different types of tasks. Inheritance, that means we can reuse the code. Security, it provides high levels of security, so it is more reliable and robust. These are some reasons to use .NET framework. Now we discuss the components of .NET framework. Common language runtime, assemblies, metadata, just-in-time compiler, sometimes called JIT, base class library, but two are more important, that is common language runtime, that is CLR, and base class library BCL. Common language runtime CLR. The CLR provides the features to compile the source code written in different language into an intermediate language which is language independent. So in .NET it is possible to develop a solution which contains project of multiple language. Assembly. The assembly is a fundamental unit to development which is the process inherent process wherein you can install an application on a computer. We can make a assembly file in the form of DLL or exe file. Metadata. Metadata contains information about the assembly. Base class library. The .NET Framework provides a huge set of the framework class library, that is FCL, for common tasks. FCL contains several classes to enable users to access the Windows application and perform common functions such as string manipulation, common data structure, input-output web programming, and data access. Just-in-time compiler. The just-in-time JIT compiler compiles the Microsoft Intermediate Language (MSIL) code into executable code. What will the system requirement for installing Visual Studio 2008? We need the processor minimum 1.6 GHz. .NET support x86 architecture and x64 Windows or Windows application. RAM. The minimum requirement of RAM for Visual Studio 2010 or 2008 is 1 GB RAM. Hard disk 3 GB free space will be available in the memory. To develop a .NET application, we use Visual Studio to come in different versions, but we use here Visual Studio 2008, that is known as 3.5 framework. That first question we have, how to install Visual Studio 2008. We following some steps to install Visual Studio 2008. At first, insert a bootable DVD in DVD-ROM. You will get installation wizard. Now following some steps. Install Visual Studio 2008. Select this option. It takes some time and we get this is the wizard. Now setup is loading installation component. If you want to send information to Microsoft Corporation, then please select this checkbox. Now click next. Here we can click. Here we should click I am agree. There are three versions: default version, full version, and custom version. Here we can set path, and now click to install. We can see that Visual Studio is installing. It takes maximum 30 to 35 minutes. After finishing installation, we press next button. Now we have installed Visual Studio 2008 and it is the time to develop a project. Before developing project, it is necessary to know tools and property of .NET. How to start Visual Studio 2008? We go to Start menu, then select All Program, Microsoft Visual Studio 2008, and then again Microsoft Visual Studio 2008. If we using first time Microsoft Visual Studio, then this message will appear, and it take few minutes. We know that there is many language in Visual Studio .NET, so we select a language. Which types of software we have to develop in Visual Studio, in C Sharp, in C++. We select here C Sharp, and now click Start Visual Studio. We get this is called a start page and integrated development environment IDE. In integrated development environment, we get this is menu, file menu, edit menu, view menu. File menu has new to create new project. We select new and project. If we have to develop a website, then we select website. For creating a file, we create file, and project from existing code. If we want to create a project from existing code, then we select this option. Next is open. To open a window based project, to open a website, to open a file. And this is close. To close a file. After that is close solution, to close the solution. Save selected item. If we want to selected item save in hard disk, then we choose this option. This is save selected item as, and save all to save the project. Export template. We can export template outside of Visual Studio. This is page setup, print, and this is exist. To exist the Visual Studio 2008. This is edit. There is undo, redo, undo last global action. What will the last global action? Redo last global action. Cut, copy and paste, delete, select all, find and replace. These are the simple control like Microsoft Office and like another window. In view menu, we can see, if we want to see Solution Explorer, then these are the parts of Visual Studio: Solution Explorer, Server Explorer, Class View, Code Design Definition Window, Object Browser, Error List, Output List, Property Window, Task List, and Toolbox. If we want to see any parts of these, then we select from here and click. In tools, there are many options. We discuss later one by one. This is a standard tools bar. There is save all, open file, new project, cut, copy, paste, redo, undo, and this is used for run a project, and shortcut is F5, and we use to debug the project CTRL plus F5. So if we have to create a project, then go to file menu, select new, and then project. Another important parts of Visual Studio is toolbox. This is toolbox. To know before toolbox, we create a project. So file, new, and project. Here is project type. Which types of project we want to develop. If we use C# language, then we select window-based application, web-based application, and a smart device application. Other languages, Visual Basic language, Visual C++ language, and other project type is setup and deployment, database, extensibility, Visual Studio solution, and this is the test printer. We use here C Sharp, window based application at first. We can select a window based application and window form application. Before creating a project, I want to tell you that we can develop three types of project in Visual Studio, like window application, web application, and console application. Here we teach about window application. Now type the name of project that you want to develop. Here is location where you want to save it. If you want to create a directory for solution, then check it. And now press OK. We get by default a form. We can drag and drop to change the size of form. This is form. At first, we doing code in form. We want to discuss about toolbox. Toolbox. The toolbox contains a number of tabs where each tab contains a list of control and components that can be dragged and dropped into form. If you don't show toolbox in your integrated development environment, then go to View menu and select Toolbox or press Ctrl W or Ctrl X. Here we can see that there is a toolbox. There are many types of tools like common controls, such as these are container. We discuss one by one. Another important parts of .NET is Server Explorer. This is Server Explorer. Server Explorer show the list available server in the network. The Server Explorer window can be viewed to perform either go to View and select Server Explorer or press Ctrl W or L, L. Third important part of .NET framework is Solution Explorer. This is Solution Explorer. In Solution Explorer, we can see the list of solution name, project name, and all the forms and models that are used in the project. We can access it by double clicking on the Solution Explorer. Next important part is error list. Here is error list. If there is any error in program, we can see here. This is output window, property window. This is property window. If we select any control, then we can see that's property here, and we set the property of that particular control. We will discuss it one by one. This is class view control. The class view window contains the hierarchy tree view representing the project at the top level nodes and displaying the classes, method and property associated with a particular project. It helps to find the members of a class that you want to work with.